everybody. How are you? I was having a crisp. Let's see. I was working on the quiz too. We're going to do a quiz tonight. How's the sound? Is it all right? Let me make sure that's there before I do too much else. Hey, Mademoiselle Larry. Here we have a new sound effect just for that kind of moment, you know, when someone arrives at the party. Champagne. And I believe you're French. Is that right? Yes. Only French champagne, only the finest for the Quilt Nerds. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. What a week indeed. I heard somebody say, what a week. Hey, a nun maker. Felt like sweets. Padma. Yeah. God, I love you guys. You know, I love you guys. And the announcement, Padma, I saw you when I was putting things together. I have a mug of crisps this time. Barbecue. I saw that you put some notes in the disco. And when we say disco around here, we mean the Discord. And the Discord is available if you're a subscriber, which is pretty cool. It's great. We have fun there, and we like talk, you know, in between episodes, and you know, we communicate because it's a pretty cool community. And so I noticed, Padma, that you have more notes in there about like this new idea that has formed. It formed live. I think it originated with Padma, but then other people were like cool with it, which was really exciting. And that was the idea that when there's a Quilters Newsletter Friday, which is an added show every other week, then I would take off the next show. On the Tuesday show. So the following Tuesday, there wouldn't be a show because then I could focus my whole day on Twitch things that are not related. I should say Quilt Nerd things that are not related to content because it's really intense. Well, it's really intense to make this show because it's not just the content, you know, like I need to be marketing the show. I don't know how. And so it's easy for me to not do marketing stuff because I don't know how, and I know how to do content. So I'm like, and if the content isn't good, it doesn't matter how many eyeballs you get on the show. People won't watch, you know, they won't come back. And so it's easy to focus on content. I know how to do it. It's fun. But, you know, I was thinking like, you all are so great. And like, there's more of you out there, you know, there's more nerds that we will not know how we lived without them when they show up. You know what I mean? So, but I've got to focus on that. So it will benefit the show just as like a really great content night benefits the show. It will also benefit the show for me to figure out like how to tell people about it. Because the only thing I do is Instagram, and I should, anyway, so I see that Feandor, thanks for the tunes. I'm so glad you all are here. Yeah, it's Friday night, and El Riggs, it's great to see you. Mother Nature, good evening. Bonnie and Myra. You came to the party. Everybody came to the party. I'm throwing a party and people showed up. It's very nice. Okay, moving myself over a little bit. Okay. Miscellany is here, and Bridgewater, and Robin's Nest. I almost said, yo, Mary Fons. It's so good to see you. And Sandy tries. Quilting Politic and Bip. Love you. I love you. You know, okay, and Feandor says, I, for one, do not think I lose any value of my subscription by having only 3 readouts a week. You know, it's good, because that was my one concern, was like, I don't want to, like, do a change for subscribers, or like, hey, I'm paying for this, like, this is what I expect. But it's, I mean, you're still going to get 3 shows a week. You know, on average, you're going to get 3 shows a week. Actually, yeah. And then, I don't know. Okay. Because what I want to do is, like, add another stream like on the weekend, you know, but like no. Anyway, so that's the first announcement, is that Tuesday it'll be quiet at the Quilt Nerd thing. Hey, Mother Nature, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you. Linda and Charles. I might have said hi to you, Charles, but I mean, I mean, you deserve at least 2 hellos. And Holmes. Susan! It's like, I mean, you guys come in and it's like, you know, it's like the gang's all here. So anybody who's new, who just dropped in, tuned in, and is like, oh, what's this about? Stick around. It's fun. If you're into quilts, that's really great because you're really gonna like it, I think. Hope. And if you're not like a quilt person, you might, I don't know, this show, it appeals to people who aren't necessarily quilt people because we talk about history and we talk about, I don't know, like all kinds of things. Because I mean, you know, our very humanity, right, is like steeped in quilts, or I should say quilts are steeped in our humanity. I mean, they're about people. Quilts are made by people. They tell stories. They hold our memories. They are pieces of history, and they're pieces of our culture all around the world. But in particular, you know, in America, we have this tradition of making quilts. And so over the ages, over the generations, you see the progression of time, you see human interaction, you see technological advancements, you see all of that when you look at quilts really closely. And what's really cool is that most of them are like really cool looking, you know, like quilts are, I mean, look at the quilt behind me, you can't see all of yet, but you will soon. I mean, I kind of want to just tease you, because what if somebody's in here for the first time and they're like, I don't know what this is about. What is even behind her? What if I do this? What if I tease you? What if I just do that? What if I do that? What do you think about that? Myra's at an Earth Day party in your building lobby with cupcakes and fizzy drinks and make your own flower arrangements, yet all I want to do is go home and listen and watch. Oh, God! You know, okay, that's enough teasing of that. You know what I want to do? And I'm not kidding. For the people who are here, like in the beginning, like Myra at her party, like sneaking looks on her phone. And by the way, on Twitch, like you're the coolest. Nobody's cooler than Myra at the party, because you're like, hang on, let me open my Twitch app. And you know, by the way, I want to talk about why I chose Twitch, because I talk about it a fair amount, because it's new to everybody, almost everybody who's here. But I do want to say that, like, I talk about the journalist who I saw on Twitch, who was using Twitch to like share her research while she was doing it. This person is young. Like, this journalist I'm talking about, like, I don't need to say the journalist because I don't want anybody to be like aligning me with politics ever, really. But this person is a Zoomer. Like, this journalist is like 25 if she's a day. And so when I saw her on Twitch, I was like, well, I'm using Twitch because the kids are using it. So it wasn't like, oh, there's this, you know, seasoned journalist. It was this like amazing Zoomer kid. Anyway, and not gaming, using it for something else. Anyway, hey, NDH. You're wearing headphones. Myra, you're so like, I love it that people are like, who's that woman? What is she? She's on a very important call. That's what they think. During our Earth Day party, she can't even break away. She's on an important call. Natalie, TGIF, indeed. If you're not a quilt person, you should be. Thank you, Charles. Agreed. Oh, I'm kind of in front of I took it too far. I'm wearing tie-dye. So, you're so, yeah. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. Oh yeah, so welcome to the show. I hope you stick around. It's great. Tonight's format is a little bit different. Oh, I do have another announcement. But tonight's format is different than the usual Quilt Nerd show. We're doing one thing tonight. Oh, I have a great quiz for you guys. Great quiz. All about 1986. It's good. Yeah, we're gonna read an issue of a magazine. It's, you know, what's kind of nice about these vintage magazines, they're not that long. And it's not that I don't want to hang out with you. It's just like, I think we looked at one from like 2011 or 10 or something, and it was like 100 pages. Which, you know, Quilter's Newsletter Friday is supposed to be a little bit more cash. Certainly it's supposed to be a little less work for me. So this magazine we're going to read is 54 pages, 56 if you count the back cover. And it's great. And this is the magazine. It's Quilter's Newsletter magazine. April 1986. So, how many years ago is that? You got married in 86? Mother Nature. Yeah, what is that? I'm not gonna do the math. That's what my mods are for. Hey, Sonia. Thanks, by the way, to my mods and everybody who is subscribing. I appreciate you a lot. Not in the kid category, says Sonia, but I'm in the quilt person category. A friend sent me a book, Grandmother's Quilts and How to Make Them. Pretty fan quilt inside. Lovely. You know, Grandmother's Quilts and How to Make Them. I think I know that book. Well, it's a reference to patchwork quilts. How to make, well, hold on. What is that? It's the classic book that now I can't think of the title of. Old Patchwork Quilts and How to Make Them. It's Marie Webster or it's Carrie Hall, or I can't remember now at this very moment because it's Friday. It's been a long week. Anyway, we're going to do this and we're just going to read it and look back on Quilter's newsletter because it was a magazine that was around for decades, many decades, started in 1967. Actually, tonight's show, we're going to watch a quick video, a very brief excerpt from a video that is an interview with Bonnie Lehman, the founder of Quilter's newsletter. So I have a video, I have a quiz, I have a magazine for you, and I have this amazing opening quilt, which all ties into the magazine. I also have one more announcement for you. I don't like to say it, especially with all this talk about, you know, I don't know, show time schedule. I'm going to take tomorrow night off. I got to do it. I'm not going to apologize for it because, you know, I'm like Johnny on the spot, you know, like consistency is very important. Sometimes emergencies arise, you know, and things have to change a little bit. And now there's this, you know, this change with, you know, doing some marketing work. I don't know. So things are, everything's fine. Nothing huge is changing. But I need a night. I need tomorrow night. I do. And Eric is in support of this. He was like, I don't know. You got to be careful. You know, don't be doing that. But I don't do it. I mean, I'm not like, there's no stream this week or, you know what I mean? There's not really that going on. So I feel like it's okay. And it's not the 3 streams back to back to back is a problem. I've been doing it. I like it. You know, it's fine. But I'm going to do the extra streams next month from Lincoln, Nebraska. So that's happening. No apologies necessary. Thank you. Oh yeah, I've got some wine over there. It's going to be, and I'm going to drink it too. Sometimes I'm like, you know, I don't ever get to it, but I will. So if that's cool, take the time for yourself. Thanks, Beb. It'll be better. It'll be better because I think on Tuesday, I'll be ready to even go into the week more strong. Anyway. So that's what I'm going to do. So the stream tomorrow night, I'm skipping. I'm going to skip it. Thank you for understanding, and you will be duly rewarded when. Oh yeah, what I was going to say is that everybody who's been here from the beginning, sometimes I say like I want to make a whole bunch of money, like not through Twitch necessarily, but I want to make, you know, just like zillions of dollars so that I can like give it back. And I will just throw us a huge party, you know, all expenses paid. And we'll just have a party because you guys are so awesome. Seriously. Sandy tries, don't feel bad. I took Thursday and Friday off work for me time. You know, you got to do it. It's so, Natalie, take some you time. We get it. Always drink the wine, says Joyous Fibers. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. And you will, everyone shall benefit from my time spent doing other things for the show. I promise. I never rest. Okay, so let's look at the quilt behind me. That's how we start. And this quilt, which I gave you a little look at, let me get small. Help, I'm small. I really appreciate it, you guys. Thank you very much. So this quilt, I'm going to make the chat just a little smaller. Mother Nature played hooky. Somewhat out of character, or is it? Going to a concert? I love it. Okay. Oh, that's good. Okay. This quilt, when do you suppose it was made? 1986, actually. Actually, I think it was made in 1985, but yeah, 1985. But I had to, I had to use this one. Why is my dock up there? I don't like that. Okay. I wanted to use this one for a reason you will see soon. This is a quilt by Carol Bryant Ballard. Carol Bryant Ballard. Yeah. No, Breyer. No, it's Breyer. Carol Breyer Fallard. And we've looked at several quilts by her before. She did the famous Corona 2, which won at Paducah in the 80s. Might have been this year, but I'm not sure. In the 80s for, it took first place at the AQS show, the American Quilter Society show in Paducah, Kentucky. And it was the first quilt to win first prize that had been machine quilted. That's right. That's right. And some people said, but we said yay, because that was really innovative and exciting, and her quilts are amazing. So this quilt is called, see, I have it in a book. What book might I be holding? I don't know. Unwinding the MBA. That's what this quilt is called. I know. So I'm going to zoom in. Well, we're going to talk about the fabric. Joyous Fibers. Kenny! It's so good to see you, Kenny. Paducah is next week. Is that right? I got to get my screen right. Is that right? I'll be darned. I will be darned. Hang on. I gotta do a thing here. Paducah is next week. You know, I'll bet you that show is gonna pop. It's gonna really pop because people are probably, they're really everybody's dying to get out, Although QuiltCon, it was good. I think the attendance was good, but I don't think it was, pre-pandemic attendance. I didn't really talk to people about it, but I wonder about Paducah. Is anybody going? Who's going to the big show? Quilt Week. All right, let's look at this. And I printed out some information from Miss Carol Breyer Fallard about this quilt. Unwinding the MBA, made in 1985. Oh, and it is 80 by 98 inches. Okay. From Carol herself, quote, "This quilt was inspired by my husband's decision to sort through and discard a 25-year accumulation of old clothes. I wanted to use his old clothing to represent the high-pressure businessman coming home and unwinding after a hectic day at the office. Many design and construction details of the original clothing were retained in the piecing. 42 dress shirt cuffs. Oh yeah, we can see these. Look at those. Isn't that incredible? 47 collars. That's what those are. From suits to casual day. Natalie, you got it. You have 2 quilts in the show? Charles has 2 quilts in the show. I'm sorry. I just saw that and I had to pause for it. That's so cool. Congratulations. Please share the quilts that you have in the show with on the disco if you care to. You may have. It's part of the reason I need some time. I got to catch up on everything. Okay, sorry. 42 dress shirt cuffs, 47 collars, and 57 ties form a spiral at the center of the quilt. Pieces of shirt and suits fly out of the spiral as it unwinds. Behind the spiral, at the top, are 6-inch squares of serious suit fabric. Progressing toward the bottom of the quilt, the fabrics become more casual. Oh my God, you people are so smart. It's so Natalie. Very, very good. Very smart. The squares mutate into 45 and 60-degree diamonds. That's so smart. Oh my God. As corduroys and denims are added. At the center of the bottom is an area of crazy-pieced, distorted rectangles made of old jeans, flannel work shirts, and t-shirts. 13 watch faces are sewn across the serious suit fabrics to represent time pressure. 176 designer labels spill out of the spiral into the 60-degree diamonds and continue around the entire border of the quilt. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. It's over here. Like, Ralph Lauren, Bill Blass, probably, all those brands. 100, okay, Buttons were sewn back on all the collars and cuffs. How interesting. Wow. So I mean, yeah, she had to take the buttons off to get it together, right? And then she put it back on. Amazing. The buttons also serve to tie the layers of the quilt together. The binding is made from ties, and the backing is striped shirting fabric. How cool is that? Isn't that great? I think it's one of my favorite background quilts ever. I mean, look at this part. Hang on, let me get this over here. I want you to be able to see. Do you see the vest? Let me disappear. Hang on one second. Ah, no, not you, me. Isn't that cool? Look at the vest front, you know, right there on the, well, it's under the chat. Put it that way. Cool, right? Very cool. So I picked that for a reason. I picked that because, well, I can't tell you yet. We're about to get there. So, yeah, let's get into, that's the opposite of quilt clothes. Yes. Eagle-eyed Bonnie. Most of you have eagle eyes. Okay. Bonnie, that's a really good point. Okay, so Quilters Newsletter Magazine. Let's take a look. I'm very, very, very excited. I might have mentioned this last night, that with the new scanner at the office, being here at the office, I can just scan a whole, look what I can do. I can just have the whole magazine out like that instead of doing one at a time and then having to merge them together manually. So this it's very exciting. It's a big day. It's a big day for Quilters Newsletter Friday. I intentionally did not put it into that the Jamboard, the Google Jamboard, which allowed me to like draw on the thing. But I didn't think we were really using that function very much, you know, with like the little pencil to draw around stuff. It was really fun, but it added an extra step to the process of getting the show ready, and I don't think we used it enough. And by we, I mean me, but I also couldn't zoom in as close as I can here, where I can like, we can look at, you know, pixels on the page. So I decided to do it like this, do it like normal. And I think it's going to be fine. So yeah, so here we go. So we're going to, we're just going to look through this magazine. And oh yeah, the reason that we do it is because we just get to see, oh yeah, the progression of time and look back at what came before us, because people have been making quilts and having a big community of quilt makers for a very long time. And what did they know that we forgot? What were they not able to do that we can do now? You know, we can feel grateful and we can learn some stuff and learn about ourselves. Okay, so let's look, and then we'll do the quiz in just a little bit. I'm going to keep things exciting. Okay, Quilters Newsletter Magazine, April 1986. Oh, did somebody figure out what? Yep. Oh yeah, that's true. Did somebody figure out how many years ago this was? What's 2022 minus 1986? I like this quilt, by the way. We'll find out soon who made it. I had several packages arrive this week, and I want to thank the person who sent more Quilters Newsletter magazines. I am thrilled, and you'll be getting a thank you note. So will the other person who sent me, I think I mentioned who did it, but anyway, so several of you have sent me Quilters Newsletter magazines, and it's amazing, and thank you. I also got a little something in the mail this week. It's just amazing. So thank you for anybody who does that. It's ridiculous and generous. And I appreciate it. Okay, so we just look at this. So let's take a look. What's happening? What's happening in 1986? Pattern specials and features of the month. Oh, if you don't have an adult beverage, get one. Pattern specials, baskets. S.J. Pepper said she doesn't like basket quilts. What did they ever do to her? What did they ever do to her? Yeah, Padme, it was a sharp observation, absolutely. Do I have an inventory of what magazines I have? Kenny, I do not. I do not have an inventory, but you know, that is not, I mean, it's really actually pretty crucial at this point, just because now I have so many, but also I need to know, I mean, it would be great to look at a spreadsheet, which would not be hard to put together. That would be very fast. In fact, that's going on the note. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, make inventory, hold on, of Q&Ms. Hang on, we're not ready for this. No, we're gonna watch a video. We're gonna watch a very short video about Bonnie Lehman. We're doing this. This is part of the plan today. I looked for it and I found it and we're gonna do it. It's Friday night. Myra, if you're watching right now, if you're watching and you are still at that party and you're like this woman of mystery, we love it. Okay, oh yeah, okay, great. Here it is, it's right here. Yeah, we're gonna set context. Okay, look at this. Are you ready? Look at this. Okay, here we go. Old school, you are there. I love it. Okay, are you ready for this? This is for Penny Mcmorris, The Great American Quilt, the show that was on WBGU. No, Georgia? I don't know. We have to talk about Penny Mcmorris. Actually, we will talk about Penny Mcmorris many times, I'm sure, but Penny Mcmorris is one of the speakers who's going to be speaking at the 20th anniversary events weekend at the International Quilt Museum. And I will be there and I will be live streaming her talk. So this woman, you will be seeing this woman speak live on Quilt Nerd. I mean, she'll be speaking at the thing, but it's a live event. I mean, it's a public event, and I cleared it with Leslie at the museum, and so I'm gonna stream, and with my phone. I'll keep it simple, so like everything will be easy. But you can hear her give a talk live. Okay, so this is I don't even think it's the whole 7 minutes, but it's gonna be an interview with Bonnie Lehman. Here we go. I'll disappear. No, I won't, because copyright.
We're back now with a special guest. I wanted to think of who would be the perfect
Hold on now. I think it's a little sped up. I'm going to just do it normal. Okay.
person to give you kind of an overview of this latest quilt revival. And so I couldn't think of anyone better than Bonnie Lehman. Bonnie's the editor of Quilters newsletter magazine, and I know a lot of you know that. I thought she'd be able to kind of tell us what's been going on from her special viewpoint. Bonnie, I think you've probably seen more slides of quilts than anyone over these years. I was interested.
We're giving her a run for her money, I think, at this point. Okay, sorry.
In the fact that you started the magazine at a time when women were quilting, but there wasn't a lot of activity. What got you started in the very beginning on it?
I was a freelance writer trying to do work at home, and among the ideas I had was mail order. So I was trying some quilt patterns through mail order, having discovered a notebook of my mother's patterns that she had saved.
So your mother was a quilt maker?
Well, she wanted to be. She saved these patterns. My aunt.
I've said it before. This woman, she was a great editor. And I mean great with a capital G. This magazine was amazing. And she was like, not that a homemaker or a mother is in any way, like this is not in any way a slight, but like she was a mother and a homemaker and like doing her thing, raising her children, raising the next generation of Americans, and like that's cool. But within her was like a really, really good magazine editor. And she figured, we all learned that because she started a magazine at her kitchen table in 1969.
Aunt made quilts, my whole family, but my mother, I think, just wanted to and never got around to very much real sewing.
You were really in the right place at the right time because you were the first person to really get going before the shows started. I know for me, what you did was to let me know more than... Do
you want me to hide the chat? Do you want me to hide the chat? I mean, I love the chat, but you can't see Penny. You know? It's up to you. Yeah, I mean, I should hide it, right? Like, it's a film. It's a film. We want to watch the film. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, I'll do it right now. Yeah, I'll stay on screen because, you know, we have to make this transformative content, which it is, but it's also just fun to be with these women, so, okay.
Any other way, what was happening, who the people were.
Great Cats doesn't want... You
had a broad outlook from the very beginning, showing just exactly everything that was happening. How did you decide that, you know, in what tone to take for the magazine?
You have to tell them what's
Curiosity?
Well, curiosity, and I was learning myself along the way too. And as I discovered what was going on more and more, that was what I wished to show, try to present the whole spectrum of what all the quilt makers were doing.
You did that. You did that really well. You were one of the first ones to show contemporary quilts way back. One of the things that fascinates me is you were doing this literally in the beginning, you and your husband
Kitty.
on your, I'm assuming, kitchen table or basement.
That's true.
Hey,
In the
Christine.
garage, even.
With 7 children.
Yes.
So
7? Did she say 7
must
children?
have-
No. Hold on.
Interesting.
Even.
With and on your, I'm assuming, kitchen table or basement.
That's true. In the garage, even.
With 7 children.
Yes.
So you must have an interesting viewpoint of what women can do with their time.
Well, yes, I guess so. I think the
Yep.
idea is that you just, you're organized, you work hard, you keep doing that over and over.
And little by little, you
Little
can
by
get
little.
a lot done. What do you see quilting doing? What does it do for you? What do you see it really doing for women on a whole?
Oh, so many things. It's just been an eye-opener, I think, to so many women to learn what they're capable of. They've learned to be independent.
Mother Nature, isn't that why you have kids so they can help you eventually? You know, the more you have, it's like you do that, you do that, you do that. Kind of kidding, but yeah.
Have careers at the same time, be with their families. They've learned about the world and their creative abilities. It's been a great thing.
So it's not too late for anybody to join this movement.
Oh, no, never too late, never.
Now, I asked you to kind of think of slides of quilts that had an impact that maybe said something about the time periods that you made. What's this one? This is Nancy Halpern?
Falls Island, Reversing Falls. Nancy Halpern, yes,
My
made
great
this in
cats.
1977. It was one of the first abstract quilts.
It's beautiful. These are all quilts that have appeared in your magazine.
Right,
This
all
is
of
kind of
them.
an overview. Whose is this?
This is Jean Johnson, Into
Wow.
the Wind. She was one of the first to do strip piecing that represented pictorial subjects.
And that's really a new kind of form that took
Yes,
off during
right.
the 70s and 80s. I love this.
Oh, I love it. Terry Manget's School Days.
I've seen this quilt like twice over the past week. Yeah, we'll take a look at it at some point. It's really interesting. Really early quilt, I think, of hers, because her quilts get really different looking later. Anyway.
She was among the first to do what we called art quilts.
I called Terry for the first time after seeing that quilt in your magazine. This one I remember.
Oh, this is wonderful. George Washington and Valley Forge by Chris Wolfe Edmonds in 1976. It won.
Chris Wolfe Edmonds keeps coming up. Oh, so much. The show, I mean, if I skip tomorrow, which I'm going to do, if you just came in, I'm going to skip tomorrow's show, restore, refresh, revitalize. It's important. But don't worry, like there will always be shows because there's so much content. I don't know what to do.
Won the major bicentennial contest at that time.
Interesting, we'll be showing a completely different quilt by Chris
Yes,
later
her
on
style
in the
has
series.
changed.
Exactly.
And this is Monica Calvert's Glorious Lady Freedom, which won a $20,000 award in 1986. Probably, I guess it's the quilt that's won the most money. This is Jenny Byers.
We saw that yesterday. We saw it yesterday. Ray of Light. Say it with me.
Flight, 1978, was the major winner in the Good Housekeeping contest at that time.
There you go. We
This
know
is
about
Neighbors
it.
of the World by Erica Odemer in Munich. Won the contest that Quilters Newsletter magazine sponsored at the first Quilt Expo Europa in 1988. It's called, as I said, Neighbors of the World.
So what you've shown us is it's really a worldwide movement now.
It truly is.
Thank you very much for being with us, Bonnie. I feel kind of like we've just flipped through 22 years of Quilters Newsletter. Please be with us next week. We'll be watching for you.
Oh, God, I love it. I love everything. I love her top. I love her voice. I love the set. You know what? There's no show like this now. There hasn't been a show like this since, where it's like conversation. You want to see something crazy? You want to see something crazy? Look who this is. I'm not showing it because we're not showing it, because we're going to watch it at some point. But, I mean, you know Rod Kirikoff, right? Unconventional and Unexpected, and he'll come up again later.
But it's based on the traditional grandmother flower garden with your hexagon center. A traditional one would be built up of
He's a baby.
Of rows of
Just watch.
the hexagons, a print, and then a solid, and then a print forming kind of the flower or rosette, the flower garden.
Okay.
What she's done here is just used a larger hexagon, and she's
Get to
made
the base.
it
Get to
with
the. I mean, he's
triangles. She's used the 3 solids.
Made more work for herself, didn't
Definitely. And then her prints. And she's
I picked
taken
the one place where they do
the color of her solids from,
Look.
used it to kind of decide for them the colors and what they're going to do. But
I love those prints.
I have to troll
well,
with this.
they're very typical prints from the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Now, I do know that this one was made in the 1930s because
He looks better now. I mean, it's just it's funny just
prints,
because
I was
it's
going to ask you if
time
someone
is totally weird.
Prints.
Does anybody
They're
know,
gonna be in pastel
Rod or have seen him?
shades.
I mean, he's a distinguished gentleman. He was just a sprout really in this. So anyway, we'll watch that at some point. It's very interesting. So a little Bonnie Lehman to set us up. Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to show you. We'll do the quiz about 20 pages in, 25 pages in, because that's how long the magazine is, and some pages are just patterns and things. What am I doing? Where is my okay? Yeah, I love those shows. I mean, Quilt Nerd could be a show, I mean, like on TV. It could also be a magazine. Perhaps one day it will be a magazine. Don't think I haven't had conversations. Oh, I have. One thing at a time. Okay, but there should be a magazine that's like, about the past and about like cool stuff. I mean, anyway, okay. One thing at a time. Focus on what we're doing. Basket quilts, patterns, features of the month for Quilters newsletter magazine readers only. With every issue of Quilters newsletter magazine, you can count on special discounts on quilt patterns and supplies, discounts exclusively for Q&M readers. Use the order form on page 41 or order from us at this address, box in Colorado. Because remember, no internet at this time. So all of this stuff was mail order. And by the way, this is, it is April. And just remember, April showers bring May flowers. And that's been true for a long time. Okay. It rained and rained today. Oh my gosh. Okay. Basket quilts, great. Love it. Love that for you. Oh, this, you know what? If anybody has a binder, that's what I really need. Hey, Pam Priest. It's so good to see you. Yeah, I agree. Historical Quilt Magazine. I mean, I just want to show, the work of Beth and Jeff Gutchin. Like, it doesn't get published anymore because they're, Jeff Gutchin is, passed on and the work is not new anymore, but like, it's so amazing. Like, if you're not a quilt nerd, and I mean that seriously, if you're not a quilt nerd like us and we're just like buying up these used books and like nerding out on all this like quilt nerdery from the past, quilt beauty and brilliance from the past, you don't see this stuff. That's why we have to have the show, because you see this stuff. You look, Carol Breyer Fallard's quilt unwinding the NBA. Like, can I please publish that again, please? And can people see this, please? Because it's so inspiring to people, to quilt makers and artists, and it's so cool. And I want to do that because I want people to see it. You know what I'm saying? Pam Priest, I'm so glad you're here. I know I said it, but it's great to see it. So yeah, if anybody has one of these binders, well, probably like 9 of them, that would be great, because they were selling these, or maybe they were giving them away. Keep your valuable collection of Quilters newsletters magazines in our sturdy custom-made binders. They are durable white vinyl, imprinted in black, with metal center rods. Each binder holds 16 magazines. I'm gonna need a few binders. Okay. Hey, Lillian. I'm so glad you're here. I really like the champagne cork pop when someone comes into the room. It's a quick one. I mean, you know, we can't play a song every time somebody comes in. Okay. Yeah, so wow, cumulative index. Now, my mom gave me this. So I have an index of all the hundreds of patterns published in the first 16 years of Quilters Newsletter magazine. Oh, and the first 16 years was 1969 to 1985. So we know that we're in 1986, so we're in the 17th year of Quilters Newsletter magazine. Look at this. Look at this. Look how dated but awesome this is. Scrap basket flowers. Your scraps will blossom with a special pattern collection with wildflower theme for machine or hand applique. Those hoop things, people were into them. They were into them. The binders were for sale. Back in the day, they were too pricey for you, Tani. That, you know, it's like, look, I can put them in a stack. I don't need a fancy binder. And if you can't make it work in your budget, it's fine, because you don't need it. Okay. What's new and news in quilting? Okay, check this out. Okay. We'll go to the quilt in a second. Quilt San Diego is a newly formed nonprofit organization that is already planning for Visions. Oh, forget it. Are you serious? Okay, this is crazy. Okay. Has anybody ever been to Visions? Is it gallery? Visions Gallery? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? In San Diego? I can't believe this. Okay, so Visions, yeah, art gallery. I think it's art. Has Christine. Oh, wait, hold on. I went on eBay and bought 50 issues from the 70s and 80s. Christine bought a bunch of 50 issues of Quilters Newsletter after Quilters Newsletter Friday last time. That is so cool. Whoever was selling them loves you very much. Okay, sorry. So Visions Gallery, yeah. It's still a thing. We featured a show from Visions Gallery in Quilt Folk in issue 11 when we visited Southern California. So right here, this is a moment in time in quilt history where Visions doesn't yet exist. But it's forming. Quilt San Diego is a newly formed nonprofit organization that is already planning for Visions, its first major juried exhibit, in April 1987. Through this exhibit, the group will explore the growth of quilt making in and from the traditional heritage. All entries will be contemporary quilts completed within the last 5 years. In order to raise funds for Visions, the organization has already tried such fundraisers as selling Great American Pretzels in Great American Quilt Tins and quilt engagement calendars. Oh yeah, we're going to have one of those. We'll have one. Another profitable moneymaker has been a benefit performance of Frontiers, a play about Western pioneer women. Okay, great. I mean, that's so cool. And they're going to do the Quilters musical, which we don't love. I mean, I don't love. But this is just awesome. I mean, Visions. They're like forming Visions. That's crazy. I love it. This is why we read Quilters Newsletter magazine. Pride. It's quilt pride. Heritage recreated and celebrated. The quilters at George Mason University have preserved. Oh yeah, I've got the magazine. Oh, I love this. I forgot about this part of Quilters Newsletter magazine. I can read this and zoom in for you. Okay. The quilters at George Mason University have preserved in needlework an important part of their Virginia past. Their heritage quilt, that's what you're looking at now, has won blue ribbons at the 10th Needlework Exhibition of the National Trust for Historic Preservation at Belgrove Plantation. Great. In Middletown, Virginia, as well as the 22nd Woodlawn Needlework Exhibition at Historic Mount Vernon. Okay, it's very Vermont? No, Virginia, sorry. The quilt design draws inspiration from Baltimore album quilts. It required 9 months of work and took about 8,000 hours of hand sewing. Whoa! Symbols of Virginia tradition are scattered throughout the quilt. Yes, exactly. From baskets to garden flowers to grapes representing the state's vineyards. I think we just saw the grapes, didn't we? Where are those grapes? I mean, it is Quilters Newsletter Friday. Yeah. We have wine, we have grapes. Grapes. The 13 landmarks include George Mason's home, Gunston Hall, and the familiar Mount Vernon. The quilt has been on exhibit in the Textile Museum in Washington, D.C., and it was auctioned for the university's 5th annual gala for $30,000. What? That's a lot. I mean, look, put this in context. It was auctioned at the arts gala. Well, Bonnie Lehman just told us that Monica Calvert won the Great American Quilt Contest first prize, and she got $20,000. So that's interesting. Okay. So that's some news. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is weird. That actually is pretty weird because look at this. Quilt Festival takes over New York City. We were just talking about it just now. Monica Calvert. Oh my God. I mean, it's a good show. I'm just saying it's a good show. Okay. Quilt Festival takes over New York City. Mayor Edward oh God, come on. I know my mayors of New York. Koch, right? Yeah. Of New York City has officially designated April 24 through 27, almost to the day today, as Great American Quilt Festival Week. The 4-day festival is being coordinated by the Museum of American Folk Art and is partially funded by Scotchgard Brand Products, a division of 3M. We talked about this. We talked about it yesterday because remember I said 3M sponsored the Great American Quilt Festival, not the Great Quilt Contest a few years before, but the Great American Quilt Contest. And 3M right? You guys remember this. Y'all remember this. They asked quilt makers to spray their quilts with this 3M Scotchgard stuff because it would protect them for the ages. And quilters were like, no. Here it is, right here. Barbara Bush. Okay, Barbara is serving as honorary national chairperson. All right. And her involvement will focus national attention on America's unique quilting history, says Dr. Robert Bishop. Yes, he says lots of things. The Laura Ashley Company will feature 8 quilts. What? Created from its contest for children? Are you serious? Laura Ashley. Look what I do. Look what I can do. Hold on. Make inventory of Quilters newsletter magazines. Laura Ashley. These are my notes. Company, based in Wales, by the way. Did you know that? Will feature, contest for children. Interesting. I'm very interested in these things. Contest for children, 1986 to 87. Like, that's really interesting. Hold on. Great Amer Quilt Con Test. Okay. Very interesting. Quilt kits. Exactly, Bridgewater. Okay. So, sorry. I like to go a little bit faster than this, but do I? Okay. JCPenney Company will exhibit 5 quilts. Interesting. In their recent American style quilt block contest. And Fairfield, okay, everybody's getting in on it. Another will be, oh my God, another feature will be a 1,000-foot, look at this, quilted banner called From Sea to Shining Sea, made up of 4-foot panels, created especially, hang on, I'm here, nobody go anywhere, 1 second, it's on my shelf, don't go anywhere. That's right. We've been knowing about that because we looked at it weeks ago. That's what I'm talking about. It's not, I don't know why I'm like, gotcha. But it's just cool. It's like, do you know about like quilt history? You know, do you know like things? Could you like talk at a cocktail party with a bunch of quilt scholars, you know, perhaps at a QSG seminar in October? And they'd be like, well, you know, be like, well, actually, it wasn't the only thing that happened in 1987, the Great American Quilt Contest. You know, part of it was the Great American Quilt Banner. You remember this? You all remember this. Look at this. You remember. I don't know. That's awesome. It's rewarding. It's just like we actually are learning things because, and then when we look at Quilter's newsletter, it's like we see it happening. It's pretty cool. Now we can. Yeah, exactly. You were just looking at that book, Robin's Nest. Grad music, please. Yes. Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah. Oh, Mother Nature. Yes, exactly. You called it. Didn't we see the banner from Sea to Shining Sea? We did. Okay. The Needle's Eye. So this is from Bonnie. I have to say, my only criticism, except that people didn't have the internet, so maybe they read longer pieces. It wasn't a problem. I mean, it's a pretty long editor's letter. That is not a slight. It's just like, I guess I'm just used to things being shorter. I mean, I wish I had had this much room to write my editor letter when I was doing editor things. But it's interesting. It's just, you know, I would read you the editor letter without hesitation, but it is fairly long. You know what I'm saying? But okay. I have to read it. Okay. Sorry. Dear friends, what can I do for you here? You know, when you give a PowerPoint presentation, there's a rule. There's one rule. Never have text up on the screen and then read the text. It's like everybody's already read it the moment that you put the slide up because they've all read ahead. And so then they just have to sit through you reading it. So that said, I'm going to show you this. And I'll just move around the ads, okay? Dear friends, this is Bonnie's editor letter. I'll read at least this part of it. The big news right now is the Great American Quilt Festival scheduled in New York City on April 27th through 24th through 27th. This exciting event will probably be one of the biggest and most important quilt and textile happenings we are likely to experience. Like ever. Like Bonnie is saying ever. It's an important event because it will bring quilts to the attention of such a large number of people who have not been closely acquainted with them before. As a result, it will surely raise the national consciousness about quilts. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. Hang on. No, I'm not. Okay, I'm just going to stay where I'm at. One of the most newsworthy aspects of the festival is the festival is the quilt contest. Okay, sponsored by Scotch Card. Okay. In a minute, I'm going to tell you who the winners of this contest were. Let's look at these ads. What's for sale? Because all of this. So wait, hold on. In a minute, I'm going to tell you the winners. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. I didn't know this. You want to know the judges? The best batting by on earth. Is that what they said? Oh, that's interesting, Lily. Probably. But here's, I didn't know who the judges were. You ready? 7 judges were sent to New York where they evaluated the quilts. Carrie Bresenhan, co-founder of Quilts Inc., the entity that puts on Quilt Market and Quilt Festival. She's a big deal. Sandy Fox. We have read work by Sandy Fox, scholar, mover and shaker. Jeffrey Gutchen. Oh! Jonathan Holstein. Jonathan, you might be out there right now. I love you. I do. He's one of my dearest friends. David Pottinger. Pottinger? I know the name, but I can't place it. Donna Wilder. And myself, meaning me, Mary Fons. in utero. No, I was actually, anyway, no, Bonnie Lehman. David Pottinger. I know he may be with the Folk Art Museum. Pottinger, but I don't know. David Pottinger, and who was that? Donna Wilder. You guys, I gotta keep it pushing here on this show. We're gonna be here all night. Okay, so she announced that she is announcing the winners. Monica Calvert, $20,000, first prize. And anyway, that's the editor's letter. That's very exciting. And I didn't know who the judges were. Jonathan Holstein, I didn't know you judged that contest. You're an enigma, sir. That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's wild. Okay. And I saw my mom's name. Sorry. I saw my mom's name over here when I was scanning things. Because she won from Iowa. Look at that. There's my mom. See my mom? Yeah, she was the winner from Iowa. Oh, no. Mother Nature, I'm still waiting to get my rotary blades from the Quilters newsletter ad. I know a few of you did send in rotary blades because we read an old issue and there was a company that, like a family company that sharpens rotary blades. And several of you were interested in it. And several of you used the service or contact, but you haven't gotten them back. Are you worried? Thanks for the cheers. Are you worried? Do you think it's blue and white? Mother Nature. Oh, the flag quilt? Probably. Yeah, it doesn't say. It's Amish, 1930. Okay, Texans. Oh, this is still news. Okay, Texans celebrate their sesquicentennial with quilts. Oh, lovely. Okay, Rose of Sharon. Oh, yeah. Yep. I'll tell you, anything Texas quilt related of this era is like, safe to say, sorry, I'm not tired. I'm not. Carrie Bresnahan probably had a hand in it. You know, Carrie Bresnahan, the woman who co-founded Quilts Inc. Quilt Festival. Because she's Texas. She's like, I don't know. I like Texas. I got a lot of my kin hails from Texas, and Carrie's pretty cool. She's intimidating, but she's cool. And she just has a deep love for Texas and Texas quilt makers. She's fifth generation quilt maker. She and her cousin, who they were kind of raised as sisters, Nancy O'Brien Puentes. Fifth generation quilt maker. That's what makes Texas a really interesting state in terms of quilt making, because it just goes way back. I mean, it's like New England goes way back. Silent auction raises money for CQC and the Quilt Conservancy. Okay, here we go. At the 7th annual Continental Quilting Congress, held in Arlington. We just read about this. Is Rose of Sharon a invasive plant? I had no idea. Oh, a newsletter. God, I would love to have a newsletter. Oh, I missed the ad. Okay. Continental Quilting Congress. It's bananas. A silent auction featuring miniatures by well-known quilt makers. Interesting. To raise money for the Quilt Conservancy and the Continental Quilting Congress. But what is it? The Continental Quilting Congress promotes quilting through a wide variety of educational channels. I need more. I would like someone to write a paper for AQSG, the American Quilt Study Group, on the Continental Quilting Congress. And by the way, if you didn't know, you can get an exclusive discount for a membership to AQSG. Quilt Nerd is the first, they've never done a coupon code before for anybody. That's true. It's really true. The AQSG, American Quilt Study Group, which is like the OG Quilt Nerds, they write all the awesome stuff, the scholarly papers, the cool newsletter blanket statements. A friend membership is $75 a year. Well, I brought it up. I was like, could we get a coupon code over here? And they said, okay. And so you can get, the nerd people can get through the end of May, only through the end of May, if you use the coupon code Quilt Nerd 15. You get $15 off. So you can have a friend membership for a year for $60 and you get lots of things. I'm going to keep the show pushing, but I can tell you more later if you're interested. And I have a goal of 50 members by October, so you can help me out. I think we have like 15 people who've signed up already. Amazing. Okay. Cincinnati Seasons quilt. This quilt raised $3,000. $3,000. $3,000. Thank you, Robin's Nest. Oh, best. I prove my powers of persuasion. That's right. If it's not about me, I can sell ice to an Eskimo. I almost said ice cream. Oh yeah, I do see the ad. It's not a quilt until it's quilted. That's right. Yes. Mother Nature spotted it. Oh, the chat. Oh, I don't have the chat back. Sorry, I'm going to put the chat back on the screen. Sorry. I really like the chat on screen, even if it occludes some stuff. I think it's important. Yeah, if it's me, I can't sell things very well, but if it's for other things or things I believe in, I can sell it. Gee, that makes me wonder if I don't believe in myself. Might be true. Okay, so how about this? Isn't this interesting? The Quilt Digest Press. Now, we just saw Rod Kirikoff on that clip of Penny Mcmorris and her television show in the 1980s. And the Quilt Digest Press was a beautiful publication published by Rod Kirikoff and Michael Kyle, the late Michael Kyle, out of San Francisco. And you, self-promotion is awkward. Thank you, Lily. It's the worst. The Quilt Digest, is really, it was a publication like no other. And Kirikoff himself has said, it wasn't until Quilt Folk that a publication in the quilt world, really shook things up like the Quilt Digest did. I mean, it's full color, it's glossy. There are five issues of this publication. There were just 5. And don't go to Abe Books yet, because I didn't think at all about putting affiliate codes in here. Just wait to buy the Quilt Digest. Just wait until I see you on Thursday. Because you should get them, but I would love to give you an affiliate code, because you'll probably want to buy all 5, and that would be great. So they're really wonderful, and there's the articles by Penny Mcmorris and Barbara Brackman. My mom wrote a short story, a fiction story that they published, very exciting. There's historical stuff, there's beautiful quilts, and when I saw this ad in Quilter's newsletter magazine from 1986, and I saw that and I was like, well, I'll just go grab my copy that is advertised in this magazine. And what do you suppose I found? Yeah, there you go. That's how I got our opening quilt. So the Quilt Digest 4 is here, and it is a must for every quilt enthusiast. It's true. Filled with full color photographs of remarkable antique and contemporary quilts. It is a feast for the eyes. I fully support that. Like, I endorse this copy. Its list of contributing authors reads like a who's who of the quilt world. Michael Kyle, Nancy Callahan. Oh yeah, she's great. Oh my God, Nancy Callahan wrote a very important piece on the Freedom Quilting Bee. Oh my God, she taught me everything I know about that. Rod Kirikoff, Penny Mcmorris, Sue Ellen Meyer, and Shelley Ziegert. Oh, Michael introduces you to the private collection of renowned quilt dealer Sandy Mitchell. We talked about Sandra Mitchell. Remember that eccentric quilt dealer? I read to you from Uncoverings about Sandy Mitchell. We're getting too good, I think, is what's going on. Yeah. Nancy Callahan tells you the inspiring story of the women of the Freedom Quilting Bee. Yep. A Black self-help cooperative of quilters who marched with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and earned their livings with needle and thread. Wow. I know. It's what? Hey. Yeah. It's crazy. We're just getting good. I mean, there's going to be more, stuff that happens like that, because the more we know about quilt history, the more we just know. And so then it's like, oh yeah, well, yeah. That's not weird. That's just quilt history. Okay, cover quilt. Indian teepees. So remember what it looks like? It looks like this. That's pretty. It's pretty nice. I like this quilt. I mean, very traditional, but I'm into the block. You know, I'm really into it. It's like the sugar cone for like sugar cone motifs or patchwork bits of patchwork turned in and then in a block form. Hang on, where are you? Where did you go? Oh, here you are. Okay. Yeah, templates. That was a thing. You had to use the templates. More than 100 years ago, Mary Jane Reese Findlay made the Indian teepees quilt shown on the cover. More than 100 years ago. Wow. 1886. Her choice of bold colors. There's a block detail. Let's take a look at this. Interesting. Charm and character. To make the choice of bold colors and strong graphics design give the quilt great charm and character to make what authors Carrie Bressenhan and Nancy Puentes call, quote, an evocative reflection of Southwestern frontier life. And that, unquote, and that's from Lone Stars, A Legacy of Texas Quilts, which we have looked at on this show. Yeah. Okay, lost many happy hours of quilting because of sore, bleeding fingers under the quilt. Bleeding? Have we ever seen the word bleeding on this show? Bleeding. Okay, sorry. People are like, please go back to the quilt. It was interesting. Sore, bleeding fingers under the quilt. Found. No problem. With Aunt Becky's finger protector. Oh no, is that like the little finger condom? For smaller, more even stitches and no more ouch. Video demo, oh my word. Video demo tape available for the finger thing. You could get a VHS demo of the finger thing. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, 30 blocks. 30 blocks in the quilt. It's interesting. They put, this is cool. This is smart layout, you know, by their graphic designer. They put the quilt diagram inside the big template piece. That's great. That's smart. Oh, and look at the block piecing diagram. Okay, that's interesting. You know, so you make your little, okay, that's not so bad. Actually, that's pretty awesome. Are you getting this? Are you feeling this? There's no set-ins on this block. Indeed. There's no set-ins. It's a strip situation. That makes me want to make this quilt. Without that, yeah, exactly, Kenny. Strip piecing instructions. I mean, that's pretty easy. I mean, you just got to watch your bias edges and stuff. And then, sorry, it's Friday night. She Heaps, thank you so much for following. You'll get a notification every time we go live. I'm really glad you're here. Please say hi in the chat if you'd like to. Yeah, send some welcome baskets to She Heaps. I don't want to call you out, but I kind of am. I don't mean to do that. Oh wait, no. Oh no, you just said hi. She Heaps said hi. Okay, you get a welcome basket for sure. I have this thing where like if people are lurking, you know, I don't want to like, you know, put you on the spot and be like, hey, how are you? But you said hi, and yeah, we're Quilters on Twitch. She Heaps, this is the Quilt Nerd Show, and we're reading an old issue of Quilters Newsletter Magazine. And we don't do how-to, you know, on this show. Because I did that for a long time and I can't do it anymore. But we just like, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're doing. We're reading an old issue of Quilters Newsletter because if you've been around quilting for a long time, you might know about Quilter's newsletter, but if you don't, if you're new, you should know about Quilter's newsletter because it's full of such amazing stuff. There's stuff about construction, which is when you came in, we were looking at this, pattern. But then there's so much more. Everybody's so happy that you're here. You know what I'm saying? I think you're in the right place. But yes, there are quilters on Twitch, and there are quilt nerds on Twitch. And a lot of us make quilts, but not all of us make quilts. Did I see Mark Wesley come in here? Did I see you? I did. Did I see you? Jan. Oh yeah, I think I said hi to you like a long time ago. But I think I saw Mark Wesley. Anyway, she heaps. You are so welcome here. Okay, thanks for coming by. Okay, there's a quilt conference coming up for the people who were reading this magazine in April 1986. Jenny Beyer and Doreen Speckman. Jenny Beyer and Doreen Speckman. And we know Jenny Beyer because we know her because she has such a huge, big profile, but she made the Ray of Light quilt that won the Great Quilt Contest. Oh, wow. Okay. This here says quilt pieces and old patchwork patterns with an E. Old patchwork patterns. It doesn't make it feel fresh if you put an E on the end of old, but it's charming. It's charming. What do they get free? What do you get free? Free quilt pieces sent with your order. Oh, I love it. Beautiful new prints and pastels. Large, colorful pieces, all sent free. All hand selected. So when you buy 15 antique quilting patterns for $5, actual cutting size, you get all these patterns and then you get free pieces. Oh, turn your time into money. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Turn your time into money. Fancy quilts bring high prices. Also make doll dresses, fancy aprons, pot holders, toys, gifts, novelties. We show you how to cash in. I love it. National Remnants. Elmhurst, Illinois. National Remnants. Very interesting. Ye old. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep, it's April 1986. Okay, wait a minute. She heaps. We have a little soundboard, and this is our newest sound. It's a champagne champagne bottle being open. This is your first meaty chat. I think it's time for this. Okay. She heaps says, okay, wait, quick little story. I went to a random quilt show in a quaint town in Oregon last fall that had this little old log cabin in the back of the property, and they gave out vintage quilting magazines for free. It was an amazing day. I just stumbled upon the town. What town? Because Sisters Quilt Show, right, is the big show in Oregon. I wonder where you were. I'll bet you people in the chat, my beloved nerds, I bet somebody has been there. It's I don't know for sure, but it's possible. Okay, a pair of patchwork turtles. Okay, we need color. We have to move on. Oh, contests in the news. So, isn't this great? Look. Apples is the theme of a block contest sponsored by the Tar Heel Peacemakers Quilt Club. Deadline is August 11. Apples. That's really neat. I mean, I guess people do that for quilt contests, like, a mini quilt challenge, there's a theme or whatnot. But I like apples. Apples is a theme. Look at these quilts. Okay. Blue Rain 2. Aurora, Oregon, she heaps says. Mark Wesley. Yo Mary Fons embodies us to create on emboldens us to create on Quilt Nerd video publication. Exactly. Mark, you're the one who said it was a video magazine. It's the coolest thing. I love it. Aurora is adorable. Tani knows. And you made a YouTube video about it. Let me check the name of the museum. You should put the link to your YouTube video, she heaps. You should put the link in there. Tar Heel, North Carolina. Exactly. Old Aurora Colony Quilt Show. Interesting. There's a lot of quilting out there in Oregon. There's a good book about Oregon quilt makers. It was a a documentation project book. Okay. These are great. Okay, so here we're looking at Desert Quadrangles by Margaret J. Miller of San Marcos, California. This is pretty great. This is great. I like this quilt a lot. It says Desert Quadrangles will be part of an exhibit. produced by Quilt San Diego to coincide with the San Diego Repertory's production of the play The Quilters. I'm telling you, I was thinking, like, I'm looking at all these books that I've got, and I've got more in storage, and I order more all the time. And it's like, we gotta make these books again, and Quilt Folk is doing more publishing, okay? But, like, I don't know. It's like there's these really great books of, like, I don't know. There hasn't been a good quilt history book in a while. Fabric of a Nation is probably the closest, but, like, and I'm sure, like, Tara Miller or somebody brilliant is working on, like, a comprehensive new quilt history book. I'd really like to write it. But, like, there were so many books for so long, and they're amazing. And, what made me think of it is, like, this quilt is gonna, like, be on display that's gonna coincide with a production of a play, the Quilters play. I don't know. I just feel like I feel like the glue, it was thicker / stronger in 1986 than it is now. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old, The internet has brought so many people together. It brought us together, on this show. But I don't know. There was this cohesion that I just feel got kind of shattered with the internet. I don't know. Probably old. But this quilt is called Blue Rain 2. Blue Rain number 2 by Georgia M. Springer of Raleigh, North Carolina. 48 by 60, 1985. Blue Rain 2 has been selected to be included in the North Carolina Museum of History's juried exhibition of North Carolina crafts. Fabulous. Good job, Georgia. Yeah, it's great. Lots of strip quilts. We've said it before. Lots of strip quilts. Great. Okay, She Heaps. She put her video in the chat. People check it out. It's a pretty nerdy and long video of an Oregon road trip, but I can post it. Listen, you found the right little pocket of the internet. The internet is pretty big. I think we've all noticed. So it's a happy day. Glad you're here. Okay, Quilt Art Poster. Quilts and Other Comforts. This beautiful art poster. Oops, hang on. The chat is... This Quilt Art Poster. This beautiful art poster. Oh, come on. Okay. Evokes so many warm feelings and thoughts about quilts and quilters. Oh. It's a reproduction of the original drawing by Lori Metter for the cover of Quilts and Other Comforts catalog number 14. Framed or unframed, it would make an appealing, expressive decoration in any room of your home. It also makes a wonderful gift for anyone who likes quilts or quilters. Poster is printed on... That's very nice. Mother Nature was just in North Carolina. Oh, God, Mark, with the poetry. There's something to be said for books. It's a love affair in my hands. You do have a way with words, Mark. I mean, you really do. Obviously. Okay. Let's continue. Ooh, Quiltessence, your quilting frame. On yesterday's show, I showed a book. There was a book, Erica Wilson's book. There are full instructions for making your own quilt frame out of wood, like instructions for the construction of a frame. Okay. More finger issues here being addressed. TJ's Quick Quilter, fast and painless. No more sore fingers. Ow. Ugh. The Quick Quilter is to be held underneath your work. Slight pressure on the Quick Quilter. What is it? Will create a ridge on the... I mean, you could use, like... It kind of looks like a spoon. Do you see what's happening here? So it says, slight pressure on the Quick Quilter will create a ridge on the working surface. This ridge will allow you to make the tiniest of stitches without even a prick of the finger. For no more sore fingers, gently glide the Quick Quilter ahead of your needle. I mean, I'm like, who needs that? But like, I stitch like 5 stitches to an inch. So perhaps I could use the Quick Quilter. It's got a nice little stipple effect. You need to quilt more. Yeah, you do. You need to quilt more. Everybody needs to be quilting more, except for me, because I need to work on marketing this show. I don't need to be making quilts. I need to be doing more things. Okay, hang on, I gotta refresh the chat. So yeah, so Quick Quilter, I mean, I don't know. It looks, I can't tell what's going on here. The left-handed can use this tool. Could we just say like left-handed people? It's like the something challenged, you know, like the right hand challenged people can use this tool. Like, how about left-handers or left-handed quilters could use the tool? It's weird, right? The left-handed. It's really funny. It looks like a guide, yeah. Wait. Jenny Beyer uses this even today. Bridgewater, are you really this thing? This particular tool? I'm not surprised. I mean, if people are taking tiny stitches, they've got to be using some. They've got to be cheating. Is what I'm saying. I'm kidding. Kenny, you should try hand quilting. You should totally do it. Where's Pam? Wait, hold on. Pam's here. Pam Burrito. I'm so glad. What's the haps? That's one of my favorite expressions. What's the haps? Oh wow, look at this. Okay, Irish caravan. From fairy tale castle to thatch-roofed cottage. Travel through the mysterious Emerald Isle on a fabulous 17-day quilters tour. Experience the ancient art of Celtic design. And participate in workshops which explore its applications. Like a fine quilt, this Celtic holiday has been carefully and lovingly put together to include educational and fanciful activities, all of which will take place with the utmost attention to comfort and relaxation. Oh boy. Yeah, wow, cool. 17 days. That's, you know what? Oh, and you get to sew with Irish folk. That's a long time. 17 days is a long time if you don't like who you're traveling with. I mean, let's be honest. Okay. Oh, look, Casanova in New York. That's where our friend Jonathan lives. Right. Okay. Everyone should try. Susan R. Michael is left-handed. So to the way they put that ad, I say this. On behalf of my friend, Susan R. Michael. An expensive spoon. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I got slowed down on the chat. 17 days, exactly. It's almost a whole month. That's what I think. You know, Kitty, you just did something that Eric does where it's like, it's so crazy. He may be watching. Oh, AQS. Oh, sorry. So I'm going to tell you what Eric does, but like, it'll be like 2:34 in the afternoon. And I'll be like, what time is it? He'll be like, it's almost 3. No. I understand that if it's past 2:30, you're getting closer to 3 than you are to 2. I understand that. But 2:34 is not almost 3. 2:51 is almost 3. 2:55 is basically 3. Kitty Hannah was like, 17 days, that's like a month. It's not a month. I love you very much. It would feel like a month if you were with people you didn't really care to be with. So, hey, Liz D, you're a you're a left-handed person. I think LTTP means this, but Mary Kate, I'm so glad you're here. It's not almost 3. Thank you. 2:34 is not almost 3. Your mom would do that, L Riggs. I feel like, this is the Paducah show that's happening next week. And Charles, if you just came in, Charles Felt Like Sweets has 2 quilts in the AQS show in Paducah. 400 quilts on display next week in Paducah. Ask Eric for $51. I love it. Late to the party. Liz D, you're coming in hot. I love it. We were just talking about left-handed people. I was conflating things. Okay, I think we have some color on the next page. Oh, wow, we have a lot of it. Quilters Newsletter Magazine, Reader's Quilt Show. Quilters Newsletter Magazine collects slides of unusual and notable quilts so that periodically we can have a special quilt show for our readers. This month we present applique picture quilts. We're here for it fully. From 2 different quilt makers, just 2 people who have used similar themes pardon me, in their portraits, along with a pieced picture work of another quilt maker. Great. Granddad's Quilt. This is called Granddad's Quilt. It's by, well, who's it by? Oh, Don Rappold of Cheektowaga, New York. Dawn is fascinated with the quilt within a quilt idea, since it combines her interest of fabric portraits and miniature patchwork. In Granddad's Quilt, she has used older fabrics to piece the background quilts. Interpretation is her fabric adaptation of Grant Wood's painting. Okay, that's the one below this. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It is cool. Yeah. You've been wanting to try to illustrate stuff with quilting. Listen, so She Heaps has an art background. It just makes sense to try it. But you're scared? You will not be scared by the end of this magazine. Because, hello, look at this other quilt that the same person made. American Gothic. And all these quilts, by the way, were made in 1986 or in the 1980s. And what technology has done since 1986? A lot. And so a lot of what you see, if you compare these quilts to like quilts by Hollis Chatelaine, which is someone you should probably, whoops. Did you say illustration? What did you say? Oh, well, okay. She Heaps, this is for you. Seriously, She Heaps, here. Look up Hollis Chatelaine. And yeah, it's thread painting. You should look into thread painting. Okay, so that's one person, and then the other person featured. So there's two quilt makers featured on these pages, and the other person is Jenny Sipe of Stewartstown, Pennsylvania. Jenny has adapted several of Grant Wood's paintings for applique, and this one has hand applique work with pieced corner stars. I really like that. I like the American Gothic on the right by Dawn, but I'm super into Jenny's. I don't know, I really like it. It's like it looks like maybe it's like her and her husband, like she put them into the work. I think that's kind of cool. Look, Robin's Nest has the best advice any quilter can ever give you. Embrace the imperfections. Ella Riggs, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's just fabric and Mother Nature. Just do it. Oh, my great cats. You know what? I don't like that any teacher told you to do something that you didn't want to do. Court quilts. You were behind. You're left-handed and fine. We got a lot of lefties in here. I'm into it. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. This is great. Look at this one. Huh. Wow. I'm very impressed by this. I'm very impressed by this quilt. I think it's really interesting. Hang on. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna go away for a second. Hang on, because no. It's kind of hard to see all of this. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard when. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna get a detail shot for you. I'm gonna come over like this. I don't know what's going on. I could hide the chat, but here. Okay, you can see it. St. Anne's Cathedral Spires. This is 120 by 110 inches. Wow. These are made by Beverly Tremblay of Rochester, New Hampshire. St. Anne's is mostly an original design with the 4 outer corners adapted from a Jenny Beyer pattern and the inner border similar to a traditional pattern. The central star's points reminded Beverly of the spires. Of the spires of St. Anne's Cathedral in Quebec, which inspired the name. Storytime for Jenna is a pieced picture quilt that Beverly made for her second grandchild, Jenna Stull. Okay, well, I think this is pretty great. The color work that she did, that really looks 3D, right? Doesn't it? It's giant. It is, L. Riggs. It's huge. Check out your bad writing on Insta, says Susan. I finally told myself, do not apologize or hate my writing. God, my handwriting is mine, no hate. Susan, there's nothing about you that is not fully lovable. If you don't know it, I know it. Okay? So in this one, no, we're not done with you. I have to go away. After this page, by the way, we're going to take the quiz. And this is story time for Jenna. Oh, sorry, everything's fine. Okay, we can see a good amount of it. Yeah. Oh, look at the lion. That's very well done. Look at the tiny, tiny piecing in here. It's wild. Every little piece is a different piece. This incorporates many objects to be used for quote unquote story starters, such as the Good Fairy, a wishing lamp, Santa Claus, the cow that jumped over the moon, and various other animals. Because remember, she made it for a child. And yes, that's really lovely. Okay, great. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. This is the calendar. Hold on. There was a show rescheduled. Quilts and American Romance. I mean, I think this is mostly like shows that were going on. There's a Metler thread ad. Okay, that's fine. We'll take a closer look at this. But what we're going to do, I need to take a quick break. And then we'll be back. We'll start with a quiz. We'll pop off with the quiz. Just wanted to say that. And we'll look at these ads. And then after that, oh yeah, look what we have. Feedstock quilts. Are you kidding? Like, no, I'm not going to show you anymore. Don't read ahead. We'll be back in a second. Get your crisps, get your vino or whatever, and I'll be right back. Okay? Okay, so I still don't have all the lighting figured out in this new space, but that's all right. So you want to do a quiz? We're going to do a quiz. It is, how do I do this? I almost forgot. Okay. I think I got it. And then, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I try not to make these shows too long because then I've said it before. I don't want people to be like, I can't watch Quilt Nerd because it's a 9-hour show. but you just watch as much as you want to watch. And then that's it. But, okay, anyway, I'm going to run a quiz. You ready for this? I think it's kind of funny. I made it kind of funny. All right, so here we go. Now, if you haven't done a quiz on the show yet, then don't worry. It's really fun and it's really easy. I mean, the quiz you might find difficult or you might find it easy. I don't know. I don't know where you're coming from. But, L Riggs. Okay. So if you haven't done it before, when the quiz, so I'll launch the quiz, okay? And it's great because you can just like tap, you can click things, like on the screen, you can click things. For a while I was doing polls and like you had to do like HTML basically in the chat. It was terrible. But this, so this is really cool. But you have to like allow like an extension to do something. So like if you see a little, it's called Quiz Kit. And if you see a pop-up, the mods that are around can help you too if you're like, what's going on? Depending on whether you're on your phone or your laptop or whatever. You have to sort of give a thing permission because, I mean, it's a quiz that's going to like run on your screen that you can tap. Like it needs to be able to do things. So it's kind of like accepting cookies or something. So if you are looking for that, that would be good when I launch the quiz, and then you should be able to do the quiz. Okay. My quizzes, click. Selecting where were you in 1986? I'm going to start the quiz. You ready? I'm going to start the quiz. Here we go. I hope it works. This is our 4th ever quiz. Okay, start quiz. It's going to send the rules, I think, to everybody. Okay, to view player names, ask viewers to manage access by clicking the quiz kit icon and then follow the thing, and you should be able to have your name show. Okay. Great. So I'm going to start the game. Here we go. Who sang 1986 top song, That's What Friends Are For? Was it Gladys Knight, Dionne Warwick, Elton John and Stevie Wonder, or all of the above? Who sang That's What Friends Are For? Who sang it? Who was it? Gladys Knight, Dionne Warwick, Elton John, and Stevie Wonder, or all of those people? Who sang the song? It's been a minute since I did this. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happened. Reveal the answer. Are you ready? I'm going to reveal the answer. I have so many screens. Okay. Oh, yeah. Hang on. I'm going to reveal the answer. Ooh, interesting. Dionne Warwick got a lot of votes. The correct answer, I better wait. The correct answer is all of the above. Does it say see your name on leaderboards? Okay. It's all of the above. All of those people sang that song. All of them together. I didn't know that. You know what I did? I did this. I went to trivia from 1986, and then I made the quiz that way. Okay? All right. Next question. Which of these movies did not premiere in 1986? Top Gun, Deliverance, Stand By Me, Crocodile Dundee. Which did not premiere in 1986? Top Gun, Stand By Me, Deliverance, Crocodile Dundee. Which was not a 1986 movie? Okay, a few more seconds. Waiting for players. Okay. Reveal the answer. Deliverance. Most of you got it. And the thing is the reason Deliverance was on my mind is Eric and I watched Deliverance the other day. I mean, I had never seen it. That is an amazing film. And I mean, it gets sort of, it's the punchline to lame jokes, crass jokes because of a very famous scene in that movie. But I mean, it is so good. It is so terrifying and it's just full of symbolism and just like, oh my God, it was very difficult to watch. If you're not okay with violence, do not watch it. But I just felt like Jon Voight he made that movie, and Burt Reynolds was amazing. And I mean, I was just on an emotional roller coaster. It was really good. I mean, and do you know, it was not 1986 at all, but it was like 72. I had no idea. I thought Deliverance was made in the 80s or something, but it was the 1970s, and I think the early 1970s. It's an amazing film. Okay, anyway, that's why it was on my mind. Next question. I can't see the chat. I gotta get over here in the chat. Okay. Stephen King published a novel in 1986 that involves a horrible, horrible clown that scared Mary for life. What's the title? Which novel was that? Was it The Stand, It, Carrie, or Christine? Which Stephen King novel scared Mary for the rest of her life and featured a horrible, horrible clown? I felt like this one was, I feel like people could get this one. What do you think? Ben Burrito, I'm aiming for -1 million points in honor of Molly. Yeah, Molly was the winner of the lowest score, right? Okay, are you ready? Are you ready to know what it is? I feel like a lot of people probably got this one. Okay, reveal the answer. Most people got it. Not everybody got it, which is totally fine because not everybody reads Stephen King. Not everybody was alive, maybe, when the novel came out. But the scary, scary clown is Pennywise the clown, and it was featured in It in 1986. That novel came out in 1986. Okay, next question. We got to keep it pushing. We're not going to be here all night. All right, next question. There's 5. How much did a Cabbage Patch Kid doll cost in 1986? Did it cost $9,000? Did it cost $10? Was it $29.97? Or was it $500? Cabbage Patch Kids. If you have to ask, you probably will never know. Cabbage Patch, $9,000, $10, just about $30, or $500? What will you say? What could it be? What could it be? All of the above. Yeah, you know what? Miscellany, that's not wrong, actually. Okay, reveal the answer. Are you ready? Fem says, I know it's not 9K, but I'm going for it. The cost of a Cabbage Patch Kid doll in 1986 was $29.97, and 20 of you got it right. And Pem took 9K, and I love her for it. $10. A few people said sure, $10, and one person said $500. And around Christmas it might have been true. Okay, next question. Oh, actually, there's 6 questions, but the last one is just silly. Okay, what was the slogan of the National Pork Board in 1986? Was it Porculator? Pork, the other white meat. Pork, it's what's for dinner. Or pork, pork, pork. Sorry, I have a good time. The National Pork Board. What ads were they running? Was it Porculator? Pork, the other white meat. Pork, it's what's for dinner, or pork, pork, pork. Okay, just a few more seconds. Answer is pork, the other white meat. You know what? One of you picked Porculator, and I would like you to marry me. 19 people said pork, the other white meat, which is correct. Pork, the other white meat. And some of you were thrown by my rather sneaky option, pork, it's what's for dinner. But it's beef, it's what's for dinner. That's the beef board. Beef, it's what's for dinner. That's Rodeo by Aaron Copland. Anyway, okay, so wait, hold on. What's going on? Okay, last question. Are you ready? Show final results. Oh, no, that's the last question. Oh, I thought I added a last question, but that was it. Okay, final. Miscellany. Oh my God, Miscellany, you won. I mean, what else can I do? Congratulations. Felt like Sweets. Charles, you were neck and neck. 86,000. Amazing. Mother Nature, right there, 78,000. Contestant 25 and 28, Next time we do a quiz, it's just like a button you push somehow on your thing, and you'll get your name up there if you want it up there. You're mysterious and good at trivia. My Great Cats coming in there. You're coming in there. Bonnie's in there. I'm proud of everybody. Oh wait, hold on. Can you see my thing? Oh yeah, you can. So everybody, good job. Miscellany, you won, and you did a great job. Everybody did a great job, and I think the quiz is fun, and I think we're all getting used to the quiz more and more every time we do it, aren't we? I thought it was fun to do a 1986 quiz on 1986 Quilters Newsletter Night. Okay, these are more ads. We did a quiz. We're going to have to move on. We have to move on. Mary Kate, I know I told you, I'm glad you're here, but I really am. Yes, congratulations, Miscellany. You really, you won it. You won it. Charles was right behind you, but hey, there can only be one winner. Lois Hartwig's Feed Sack Quilt. So we're back to this. We're back to looking at our Quilters Newsletter magazine from 1986. Why? Because what else are you doing on a Friday night? So this is interesting. This is an interesting spread because it's feed sack quilts, but look what Bonnie, the editor, has done here. She's got this purple story, this color story, which I love. I think it's so great. Now, it may be that this woman who made them only worked in purple, but I don't know. I feel like they were like, send us all the pictures of your feed sack quilts. And they were like, we'll take the purple ones. Okay. So here's just a little bit about this. This is I've never seen a feed sack quilt like this. This is cool. This is very cool. And feed sacks, by the way, it was women in the 40s. People think it was in the 30s that people were using feed sack material in quilts. And it may be true. Look at the quilting on this. Can you see that? But really, Robin's Nest has a link to a book on Instagram. It's a long link, but I bet it's a very cool book. Okay, yeah, feed sacks, she heaps, exactly. So feed sacks were literally sacks that you would buy that had corn feed in it, or chicken feed in it, or there were also flour sacks, and flour sacks had flour in them, and they were cloth sacks. It wasn't plastic. And it was, it wasn't like a bucket of feed or flour or sugar sacks too. And they were fabric, they were cloth, and in a brilliant marketing, a burst of inspiration, a eureka moment, the companies that were making the feed or the flour or the sugar, they learned that women were using the material that was used in these bags, these feed sacks and flour sacks and sugar sacks. They were using them to make things like quilts or aprons or clothes. And if they were quite poor, I remember someone saying that the sugar sack material was soft, but the feed sack was rough or something. And they were children who had clothes made out of this material. So the marketing people at these companies, they were like, oh, well, let's start printing the flour sacks and the feed sacks with like awesome patterns, because women will buy our feed if it's like a really pretty print, because they're going to use it later in clothes or quilts or curtains or aprons or whatever. So it's a really interesting moment in quilt making. And this is a really great, it's great. It's very abstract. When did she make this? What is this? Diamonds in the Snow. Yeah, but when? Diamonds in the Snow. But there's no date on it. Okay. After growing up in Southern California, Lois Hartwig felt a bit of culture shock. She heaps. Does that answer your question? Yeah, so wholesome, exactly. Mary Kate, I'm going to read your comment. Okay, hang on. Okay, so this is a contemporary quilt. So she looked forward to learning how to quilt. She and her husband moved to Central Illinois in 1969. She fell in love with the rich colors and designs of feed sacks, which were being used for the relief quilts that the church women produced to send to African missions. She was teased a great deal for her fascination with the lovely prints, because most of the women were farm wives who had used feed sacks for everything from dish towels to their family clothing. Hello. For more years than they cared to remember. Yeah, the other women were like, we're good on the feed sacks. We don't want to use them. We're going to get nice quilt material from the quilt shops that exist now, so you can just have all the feed sacks. And Lois was like, I'm down. Wait, Mary Kate said, my former Quilters newsletter colleague, was Mary Kate, was an editor at Quilters newsletter before it closed. She's a great editor also. My former colleague, Lori, grew up in rural Colorado in the 50s, and she told me that husbands were sent to buy feed and flour with strict instructions from their wives to buy matching bags so they'd have enough to sew dresses and other garments with. Love it. Love it. Like, honey, I need a purple and a pink. If you come back with green, no dinner for you. No Jell-O mold dessert. Light purple, I'm telling you. It reminds you of Triomino's game. Susan or Michael, is that, yeah, I'm sure that's some smart game that I don't play. I do love playing Tetris. Sometimes at night I go home and I play Tetris with Eric. Kaleidoscope, yeah, it totally does. It's very cool. It's all very cool. Okay. Ooh, this is great. Ooh, Apron Making. Look at this. Apron Making by Susie Lawson and Beverly Soasy. Apron Making. 14 patterns, color plates, helps and ideas. Helps and ideas. $8.95 plus $1 postage and handling. Amity Publications in Oregon. Out there in Oregon. Oregon came up earlier. Quilt hoop hanger. Oh, that's interesting. A quilt hoop hanger. I have 2 hoops. And wow, they are impossible to put anywhere. I mean, they don't go in a drawer. They don't go on a wall because I don't have a sewing studio. I just have like a cupboard. And like they don't fit anywhere. So you know where they are? They're under the couch. That's literally where the 2 hoops that I have live. They live under the couch because they don't go anywhere. So this is a quilt hoop hanger, and that would be very nice. That would be very nice. Everything fits under the bed, Lily. Thank you. Pre-cut quilt kits. This was a kit extravaganza kind of moment, for quilting. See, cutting boards, exactly. Cutting boards, rotary cutting boards, and I don't know, bodies you need to hide. No, just kidding. It's a terrible joke. Tying quilts. This is a how-to, how to tie quilts. Great instructions. This is what we call evergreen, right, Mary Kate? In the magazine publishing world, it's content that never fades. Its usefulness can never fade. It is evergreen. Yeah, that's great. It's great. Yep. Tying quilts. There is a way to do it, like you can tie it together. You can tie your 3 layers together, but if you want to tie it together so it will last through the washing machine over the coming years, you better do it. You better do it right. Connecticut Collection. This is Barbara Brackman. We know this. We've seen Quilters newsletter issues enough to know, that this column, this feature, is written by Barbara Brackman. The great Barbara Brackman, the great legendary quilt scholar, writer, quilt maker, designer, enigma, Barbara Brackman. So she says, I will not read all of this, but I will say this, as one of the 13, so they did the states. They did like all the states. And I bet Barbara was like, cool, I have 52 freelance checks. For the next year, anyway, she got a gig. It's good. Writing this column. Okay, as one of the 13 original colonies, Connecticut has a quilt making tradition, going back to the era of the whole cloth quilt. But the search for patterns named for the state is not so fruitful as it sometimes is for newer states with shorter histories of quilt making. By the way, for anybody new, Barbara Brackman is famous for many things, but she wrote the Encyclopedia of Pieced Quilt Patterns, which is the text for identifying quilt patterns and quilt blocks. It's a crazy thing that she did because quilt blocks have so many different names. So she made a book that's now in its 3rd edition and sold out almost immediately when it came out, its 3rd edition. with, you know, she put a block like this one perhaps, you know, and give you all the names that she could find that was, you know, that were used, the names that were used for that same block. And it's wild. There's no standard nomenclature for a quilt block. It's a crack up, really. So she did that. So she's talking about Connecticut quilt blocks and things, and this is all very nice. Okay. To summarize the historic charm and natural beauty of the Nutmeg State. Hold on. To summarize, yeah, you could include a Yankee charm block. So she's like, you want to make a Connecticut quilt? Here's some ideas for blocks that make sense. A Yankee charm quilt, a novel arrangement of traditional quilt design elements. To symbolize the pride Connecticut Yankees take in their state, don't forget Yankee Pride from Ruth Finley's book, Yankee Pride. Yeah, Yankee Pride, right over my head. You know, it's good, it's creative. I love the acorns too. I love that, well, you know what, Mary Kate, we did not reprint it. Believe me. Will be in there for the 4th edition, but we did get like a early like batch, but we did reprint the Unconventional and Unexpected Kirikoff book, and there may be more projects in the wings for like reprints. You know what, that's what I want to do like for the rest of my days. I want to write a book, do Quilt Nerd, and just do some like reboots of some of these great quilt books. You know what I'm saying? It needs to happen. Yeah, acorns leaves. You know, if you start a fall quilt now, you'll be done by fall. Maybe. Japanese fabric. Interesting. Love it. Oh, this is great. Look at this ad. This is so great. East Coast Quilters. I'm going to hide because you need to see this. It's really cute. This is really cute. All right, am I posting this issue? Posting the issue like on the Disco? I can totally do that. I can post this in the Discord. I'd be happy to do that. I've got all the PDFs after all. Look at that, East Coast, right under the chat. East Coast Quilters. Over 800 calicos and smocking supplies too. Come in through the back door. Y'all come. Isn't that cute? Inspired to do a white quilt with the black outlines to simulate this kind of magazine layout. Ooh, that's cool. Mary Kate, you get me. Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be great. Oh my God, you know what? Oh my God. Wait a minute. What if you did the quilting? What if these were your quilting lines? You know, like what if whatever quilt you were working on, whatever piecing you did, like you took the quilt, the template lines, you know, and used them for your quilting motif. Just saying. All of these are up for all of these ideas we come up with. They're communal ideas. Take them, do it. So this, look at this, Paula Nadelstern. I mean, if anybody knows Paula Nadelstern or knows who she is, this is crazy. Like, she's a child in this picture. She's a child. Paula Nadelstern is like a legend. She is a legend in the quilt world. She's so great. From the Bronx, Paula Nadelstern. She's amazing. She made the quilts that you're seeing. She's so good. Oh no, she didn't. I was gonna say they don't really look like her quilts, but where are her quilts? Wait a minute. Hold on. You know it is. Okay. But this one threw me a lot. Okay. Why would they have anybody else's quilts on her page? But as she grew in her quilt making, she really, I mean, you guys know the mandalas. The mundalas that she started making. I mean, just amazing. So, but this is great. Look at this. Kibbutz Rosh Hanikra, head of the grottos. 1985. This quilt was machine pieced by Paula and hand quilted by This is great. I mean, that's a great pictorial quilt. Legend, exactly. Quirk quilts, exactly. Love it. I love it. You attended her lecture in Lancaster, says Mother Nature. That's awesome. One of the goats. She's a goat. She's such a goat. Greatest of all time goat. I mean, so this is why I was thrown, because I was like, I've never seen a pictorial quilt by Paula Nadelstern, but guess what? I've only seen Paula Nadelstern's work like post, like, I don't know, 2005 or something. It's 1986. Oh my gosh, she's got an American Gothic. Look it up there. Hold on. Look, American Gothic. Very interesting. She's so young. This is a great quilt right here. Fabulous. Yeah, the log cabin sky. Totally, Larry. I love it, Mademoiselle. Larry, this is great. Wow. Mesmerizing. I mean, we haven't talked about Paula Nadelstern yet. We have to do that. Yeah, American Gothic is totally... Hey, Sarah, thanks for following. I appreciate you. This is great. We'll give you a little champagne. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. And as she does more, she starts doing these mandala things. I mean, I want to pull up a picture, but I can't do it. We're over 2 hours already, and we gotta. It's Friday night. It's fun, but we don't want to overstay our welcome. Okay, and this is fabulous. I mean, wow. So what's this called? Hang on. This is called, this quilt, Abundance. It's called Abundance, and it's 36 by 36. It's made in 1984, hand quilted by Lynn Della Posta, and it was made pieced by Paula. Look at the depth of it. It's so great. Oh, and you know what? You know how she kind of achieved some of that, if I may. Look how these corner blocks. You know, it's darker on these two of the points, two of the arms, if you will. And so it looks like it's receding into shadow. You know, it's in a way, it's easy for me to say. It's sort of simple, really, because it looks like it's rising up because you have those two pieces in shadow on the corner. And then, I mean, it's just fabulous. It's just amazing. Wow. It says beyond fabric, design inspires Paula. Some of her quilts, such as Kibbutz Rosh Hanikra, hang on. They originate from rough sketches on graph paper. Quote, I was asked by some friends who live in Israel to make a quilt with primary colors for a child. That's this one. After I drew the trees and mountains, I realized I was recreating this special kibbutz I had visited years ago, unquote. Each part of the quilt is an intricate patchwork of various piecing techniques. The pine trees are strip pieced. Pine trees. Oh yeah, look, these pine trees are strip pieced. Cool. The sunset and mountains are log cabin style. Yes, as someone recently pointed out, so astutely pointed out, log cabin. Love it. So brilliant. And the beach is done with a postage stamp technique, which means tiny little squares, lots of them. And it is right. Oh yeah, right here. It's the peach. It's a little bit hard to tell that those are tiny squares. Bridgewater. You can totally tell it's 80s fabric, but it looks so good. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very 80s. This, sort of rust red, there's this hunter green that appears and excuse me. Hang on. Talking it over. This is Jean Ray Laurie. I was just working on a video about Jean Ray Laurie. I was reading to you from this. You remember this? Keeping it all together. You remember I read a little something about writing? Well, I'm working on a little thing where instead of recording all new content, I'm working on editing down some Quilt Nerd shorts. So, I mean, there's just hundreds of hours of content at this point, you guys, and all this research I've done and all this stuff, and it's all on film. So if I can cut, these little shorts, then I don't have to make more content from scratch for YouTube, because that's part of how you market a Twitch channel is you do YouTube stuff. So anyway, I was working on this piece about this woman and her column in Quilter's newsletter just this very day. Pretty cool. Okay, and she writes to the person. The person asks, several readers have asked almost identical questions, says Jean Ray Laurie. On several occasions, I've been asked to talk to groups about quilting and to bring my work, but sometimes it doesn't seem to be appreciated at all. Am I making a mistake? Oh, wow. Okay, we have to read some of this. All right, hang on. What can I like to show you things, while I'm reading text. So, how about we look at a quilt pattern while I just read you a little bit about this. So Jean Ray Laurie says, the legend Jean Ray Laurie says, well, it isn't to the reader. It is never a mistake to share your knowledge and your work in a situation that is mutually rewarding. But if you feel unappreciated, you may want to make some changes. Perhaps the next time you're invited to talk to a group, you should make it clear that you charge for this demanding work. Oh, nice. I'm into it. This has several immediate effects. It determines how seriously interested the group is. It changes their attitude toward you. It allows them to regard you as more dedicated and professional. And it will allow you to improve your presentation by helping to offset costs of photography, care, projector, or handout sheets. Charging a fee rarely turns anyone away. The amount of the fee might, but its existence will not. If you don't set a value on your contribution in some way, neither will anyone else. Unfortunate, maybe, but for many people, the value must be monetary before they recognize it. That's right. Advice from Jean Ray Laurie. Yeah, it's really true. And I learned that as a youth. In my 20s, I was hosting all these poetry slam events. I was just, all over the city, like doing fun things. I was 22 and 23 and it was a blast, and I could drink for free at the bar, and I mean, I could get 2 drink tickets, from the bartender, as the host of the show. And it was great. But someone told me, they were like, people value your work as much as you value it. So you should be charging to host a show. And I was like, oh, what? And I was like, but really, someone would pay me to do this? And, and he's like, yeah, because they'll only value your work as much as you do. So you should say it's $100, to host the show. And I was like, yeah, it's like $100 for me to do it. And they were like, cool. And they paid me. I mean, and it was a really, really good lesson. Pastrami tacos. I'm excited for shorts too. Yes, I am excited too. And I have fun making, I'm having fun making them. Just like I had fun making the trailer finally for the show, which is on YouTube and on my Twitch page. And you should watch the trailer and share it with a friend who you think might like it. But it's really fun to make those shorts, and I can work smarter, not harder on them. Instead of writing new scripts, I can work from the content that I make 3 times a week, So, wow. Harriet Miriam of Sacramento, California says, quote, "This is absolutely my last quilt. My eyes just aren't what they used to be. It's a vow Harriet Miriam has been making and breaking for the last 6 years." Oh, God bless her. Doesn't she look nice? I thought she had a very avant-garde quilt outfit on that was like a dress stitched to a cape, but it's just her sweater pulled around her shoulders. Yes, don't undervalue yourself. Exactly. The trailer's legit. Thanks, Quilty Mouse. I really like it. Exactly. The thing about the shorts is that you can share and encourage people to come. Yeah, exactly. 101 years old. Oh, she's 101. Wow. You guys, those shorts are coming. I was having a blast today doing it, but that's why I have to make sure to allow room to do that stuff. I can make content for the show all day long, but it's not just about that. I have to take time and do that other stuff so that the community grows with more cool people like you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So Harriet was 94 when she chose the Star of Bethlehem for her last quilt. She used the quilt as you go method. The quilt received second place in the senior citizen division of the 1979 California State Fair Quilt Competition. 1979, the year AQSG was formed. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I have to make a note about this. Sorry. I think there's like a poem that I'll read to you later. I think it's a poem. Aunt Sally's Lament. I have to keep something back. I have to have, I can't put it all, I got to leave something on the table. So this thing, Aunt Sally's Lament, it looks really intense, and I'm going to use it for the next show, okay? Aunt Sally's Lament. Because it's, I mean, look, it's 9:30. It's almost 9:30. I don't mean to rush, but I'm getting a little bit tired, I have to say. Not for shopkeepers only. This is Jeffrey Gutchin. This is his article. What is he writing about this time? A look at the marketplace. Oh yeah. Integrity in the Marketplace, Part 2. Bye everybody. Okay, bye She Heaps. You're so welcome here. I'm so glad that you came by. And you have to come again. The next show is Thursday, because tomorrow is a night off, and Tuesday is different this week, but Thursday at 7 p.m. we'll be here. And the schedule, 3 shows a week. That's all I can say. 3 shows a week. Have a good night. Okay, yes, Jeffrey Gutchin. Okay. Yeah, and I think we read some of this. I mean, he's talking about how, I don't know. It's tired. Thank you. I mean, Jeffrey, I know that you have a bee in your bonnet. Remember he got mad? He was like really mad at a quilter for saying something he didn't like. Oh, look at this. Houston's 12th annual Quilt Festival. Just the 12th year of Quilt Festival in 1986. Wow. Almost 100 classes and special events by top faculty, including Jenny Beyer, Jean Ray Laurie, Virginia Avery, and others. Tours to see Lone Stars, A Legacy of Texas Quilts. That's what the book was about. You know, the Legacy of Texas Quilts. That was the book they made. Quilt Lovers Forum. Wow. Oh my God, look at this. Wow. See, okay, this person writes in, okay. So she's like, I've just finished reading my February issue, and it's so amazing, and da-da-da-da-da. And she just loves it, and she wants to try painting on her fabric. And yet, a feeling of discontent, is gnawing away inside of me, begging to surface, to be examined. I have a few quiet moments to reflect on what it is that disturbs me, and I realize it is a subtle, hard-to-grasp feeling of inadequacy. It is a feeling of being left behind. I'm dead. Oh my God. What magazine does this? Why can't a quilt magazine? Oh, sorry. Maybe there are quilt I have to stop saying that, because maybe there are quilt magazines that are doing like deep thoughts like this, and I just don't know, and then I sound like a jerk. It's a feeling of being left behind, unable to keep up, of somehow never attaining that level of super quilter or teacher like those I read about every month. Maybe someday when my last child has gone off to school, I'll be able to accomplish more, but that seems so far in the future. It seems an impossibility now to turn out a modest 4 to 6 quilts a year. I struggle to complete 1 or 2, and I am in awe of those women who can produce so many. I can't figure out where they come up with the time. Oh, I know. So many think like this. Mark Wesley, my quilt adventure started when I was gifted fabric and books from a sweet elderly friend that had to stop quilting due to her hands. Her hands could not work anymore, so I told her I'd carry on her legacy. It's amazing. Mark, that's great. I love that we heard that part of your story. I didn't know that about you. Oh, yeah. Okay, so she's talking about, oh, this is great. On closer examination, I realized my feelings really are not so much discontent, but rather impatience at plodding along at a turtle's pace, when my mind and imagination are racing ahead at breakneck speed. Instead of being frustrated by my feelings of inadequacy, I should view my situation as a challenge. I told you, you know, don't ever like do a PowerPoint presentation where you're reading text that's on screen at the same time, but I just did it. That's wonderful. I mean, at the final, like her final analysis, the key is we shouldn't give up. We must persevere. Someday we too might join the ranks of the superstars and leave our own unique mark on the quilt world. Oh, Quilts. Mary, I have this issue, Quilts writes. Jeffrey's article, I have this issue and read Jeffrey's article. It's reeking of sexism. You know what? I got that vibe too. I did too. I didn't want to linger on that. Quilt says he makes some good points, but oh my, he's angry because his quilt shop loan applicant has a quote, crying child in the background. Are you for real? Really? And apparently that's unprofessional on a phone call. Are you for real? Wow. That's lame. And it's like opposite of this page of the woman who's like, you know, I have so much, I want to do so much, but I'm raising my children. That's wild. Yeah, I don't know. I felt that. I felt that, Quilts. I'm glad you said that. Padma, when I was at a quilter's estate sale recently, a quilter joked that she felt like she was shopping for her own future estate sale. That's hilarious. Liz D, thank you for the B. I love it. Piece pictures. Oh yeah. I've seen this. I know where that's from. Take a mental note. I'm actually going to take a screenshot. That's from a very famous quilt. This little portion. It's the little house in the lower left. We'll come back to that one day. You guys, I have to say I'm getting tired. I'm going to officially say it. I'm like, I don't want to linger too long. I don't want to have you here all night, but I actually am. Sometimes this happens. I have to be aware that Quilters Newsletter Friday, while it does not take a lot of prep work, okay, it's quilt pattern, it's not, you know, it's not a quickie usually, which is fine, except I do get tired, and I am tired, which is why taking tomorrow off is a really good thing. And if you just came in, tomorrow night's show, I'm going to skip it. I'm going to toggle the little thing on Twitch schedule that says skip next stream. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I need it. Anyway, thanks, Myra. Thank you. I snapped Jeffrey's suspenders, Quilty Mouse. I love it. So that's bulletin board, quilting videos. Learn at home. It's a good thing. Thanks, my great cats. I like that your name is My Great Cats, like your awesome cats that you love, but also it sounds like migrate. So like migrating cats. So when I see your name, I think My Great Cats. And then I also think My Great Cats, like we must migrate cats. They are in danger, you know? Thanks. It's okay. It's okay. And then there's It's Okay, which is a great name. I mean, I didn't even get it till like 3 months into the show. I was like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay if you don't feel adequate. It's okay. America's Pictorial Quilts. I believe we have that book in our collection. And I mean in our Quilt Nerd collection. Ooh. Oh, the Quilt Nerd book collection? The Quilt Nerd book collection. A selection of used, slightly damaged books. A set. The set changes depending on which one you get and when. Yeah, Jeffrey Gutchin, I don't know about you. All right. Quilting Bee, lovely. Love the quilts. Love them. Looking good. Yep. Very nice. Interesting picture there of the little diorama. Let's look at this diorama. I mean, when do you get to see a diorama? Where's a diorama? Little Amish lady? What is this? A Miniature Quilt Shop by Candace Gilmore and Susie Peterson. Adorable. Help, I'm in the quilt shop. 8 cats. It is cute. It is cute. Dioramas are fun to make. Lillian, the diorama is better photographed than the pictures from the other day. Oh my God. Correct. Oh, look at that. Quilt Maker. Quilt Maker. Look at this. She's got the magazines. Quilt Maker is the quilt pattern magazine published by Quilters Newsletter. Very interesting. You're not, Lillian, you're not wrong. You get the Nerd Award. I mean, just for being observant. Lovely, lovely. Armchair, I can't. Armchair shopping center, I can't. I'm too tired. It's swimming. It's swimming. Okay, let's just do one. Here, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go like this and point to one. Summer quilting seminars, take the challenge with Nancy Crow, Barbara Karen, bobbin, crochet, lace making, needle arts, and more. Okay, that's it. That's it. I can't do the classifieds, you guys. Why is that? I can't do it. Oh God, scrap quilt, scrapbook. Some people. Okay. So look at this. This could be weird. Some people just born to it. The following quotes were collected by Betty Ann Smitty in interviews with quilters of Appalachian origins, okay? Her friends, relatives, and coworkers. The average age of those interviewed was 66. These comments were originally published in the Craft Connection when Ms. Smitty was a regional correspondent. Let's pick one at random. Quote, my man drinks out at night. I do it to keep my mind from worrying. Oh my God. The pathos. You know what? Okay, this is a good place to let's just bring it home, okay? Why do we look at these things? Why do we care about quilts? Why do we care? Why is there a show about quilts? Why do I care so much? I care about a lot of things. I don't just like quilts. I like a lot of things, okay? And there have been times in my life where I'm like, is this like okay? Am I putting all of this time and effort and energy and like the best years of my life, you know, like working in this space? And it's like, yeah, because it's really that deep. I mean, some things just aren't that deep, you know? Some things aren't that deep. Trash TV, don't get too upset. It's not that deep, you know? Little gossip at the office, it's just not that deep, you know? But like, we'll look at the art we've seen tonight and the creativity we've seen tonight. And so many of our quilting friends are male, you know? Perhaps they're beyond the binary, you know, whatever. Everybody's welcome here. But so many of them are women, like, you know, making this magazine, you know, so many. And so it's like this work and it's industry and it's art and it's creativity and it's pathos, because then you read some quote by a quilt maker in Appalachia, in, you know, West Virginia, perhaps, or wherever. And it's like, why do you make quilts, ma'am? And she says, my man drinks at night, so I do it to keep my mind from worrying. What do you do when you're worrying? You got to do something. Well, quilts have been there for people for a really long time, and they're still there for people. And so if you're going to spend your time doing something or reading about something or learning about something, why don't you read and learn and do something that helps people live their lives and is creative and beautiful? I mean, what else is there? What else is there? There's so much emotion in quilts, indeed. Indeed. You're all very funny about the diorama and more. But it's true. I mean, my God. This frame, here's another quote. This frame was made by my great uncle, this quilting frame. Made it from trees he cut himself on this land. Every piece straight, real smooth. Don't know how many we've quilted. No need to keep track. This red and white was the doctor's quilt. Mom always put it on the bed just before he came and took it off the minute he left. Okay, so here is my solemn vow. You all need these quotes. You need them, okay? So you'll get them. I'll post a zip file, a zip drive, I will compress all of the PDFs that I made of this issue that we saw tonight, and I will put the zip file in the disco, okay, so that you can have all of this, because those are amazing, but I'm too tired to read them all. And I mean, that was my last burst of energy. I think that, like, impassioned, like we're all in the right place moment. So I'll do that, okay, and then this is the back cover Okay. Yeah, right? Those quotes were amazing. Jan makes stuff. Go, sister, go. Exactly. The doctor's quilt, that's really something. When the doctor would make the house calls, you'd put it on so it looked nice for him when he came in and he'd take it off. Or it was just that kind of tradition that they did when someone was sick. I don't know. It's amazing. Amazing. Ooh, Padma. Please just be my intern. Do you need a little bell to ring when you've been on for 2 hours and then we know you're going to wrap it up in 5 minutes? Well, I just want you to get your fill. Your polyfill. Oh, your polyfill. I do. I want to deliver, you know, and I do love Quilters Newsletter Friday, but it's hard because it's all a tangent. Like the whole thing is a tangent for all of us, not just me, you know, but like we read this stuff and it's like, oh my God, we did that. And like, remember this. So it's a crack up, but you know, yeah. But 9:36, yeah. Okay, so it's been over an hour and a half, or 2 hours and a half. Gotta go. But I also know that the next show is Thursday, because tomorrow night I'm taking the night off, having a full weekend pretty much. And then Tuesday is this initiation of after a Quilters Newsletter Friday. The following Tuesday is all about Twitch, but it's me doing marketing stuff, organization stuff, tech stuff, you know, because I mean, you guys, you know, I do all the Quiltful things and the book project with Jonathan. I mean, it's, you know, it's a lot. So to have Tuesday to be a Twitch day where I'm working for all of us, but not loading up content for the show is probably a good idea. But anyway, we're going to figure all that out. And boy, you'll really show up on Tuesday because you'll be like, Mary Fons wasn't in my ear every day this week. So I got to get back on that. No, Tuesday. No. Tuesday is not gone. Hey, Jill. No, we're still going. But I am wrapping up right now. No, Tuesday is still on. And it's also not for sure that this Tuesday every other week thing will be a thing. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. But no, there will be 3 shows a week. That's the deal. That's the deal we've made. That's what I want to do. But as the show grows and kind of like gets its legs, it's still getting its legs. I got to try some different things. Just got to do it. And for people who stay with me and the subscribers, I mean, it's a very, very, very encouraging and very appreciated. So you'll get your ducats worth. Because the more time I have to figure out stuff and plan, the more people will. It'll be good for all of us. You know what I mean? Instead of just like keeping my head above water with like what I'm doing now, it'll be like more good stuff. Okay. You are awesome. You are brilliant too, Susan Michael. I think you're wonderful. Yes, Thursday is the next show this coming week. And yeah, just stay tuned. Oh, there's custodian people. I better. I'm still here. She's like, you're still here? Okay, I'm going to go now and best to you all. Good to see you. Bye.